Here's a project someone requested. They wanted to know how you could build a room addition in between two hip roofs with a shed roof. Let's go ahead and take a look at the framing here, give you an idea of what we're dealing with. And again, every situation, my drawing is not going to represent every home that is built this way. We need to keep this in mind, especially when it comes to the ceiling joists that could alternate directions. Let's go ahead and start with the foundation, and mainly the video is going to be about the roof framing, but I figured I would throw this in there. You would have an existing foundation with load-bearing concrete footings. You would also need a load-bearing concrete footing in the front for this type of design also. And you would need to cut the roof rafters back. Going to need to make it even there, so the overhang will get cut off. The hips will need to be cut off at the corners so that you can create a nice flat surface to build with. Now the next thing you need to do is figure out the pitch of the roof rafter and whether or not you will be happy with a sloped ceiling. So if you want a flat ceiling, that will be the last design in the video, I believe. And if you want to have a sloped ceiling and a sloped roof, then you will need to raise the back end of the rafter and the ceiling joists, of course. And don't forget to allow for insulation. The minimum size for a roof rafter that's going to be used for ceiling joists will need to fit the insulation in it. So I'm using a 2x10 here that will be fine with R30 insulation if that's what you're using in your area. Now let's go ahead, and I sloped these. I provided you with a few different ones. You can figure out the slope, and the slope is usually going to be 1/4 of an inch per foot minimum. I like to go with something a little longer, but we have a 16-foot span. So we need to go up at least 4 inches. If I use 3 2x4 blocks to put on top of the framing plates, that'll give me 4.5 inches, which would be fine. You will need to nail these roof rafters to the existing roof rafters at least every 4 foot to get a good tie, or the ceiling joist. Another one you can use would be a solid block. You can always use a 4x6. You could use a 4x4 with a piece of 1/2 inch plywood underneath it. And you could use a little 2x4 also. Remove the rafter there to give you an idea what we're doing. And you can always put it on top of the roof rafters if that would work, and then use framing hardware to help you connect everything, and straps also. In this example, I am going to slope the new roof rafters and set them on top of the existing roof framing, including the sheathing. And you can set them on top of some sleeper boards, 2x10, 2x6, something like that. Make sure that the rafters have enough support underneath them. Doesn't always need to be solid for something like this, but it's very important to have it underneath the heel here, and then something up here because you might need to nail. A lot of engineers require nailing along the perimeter here. Now I drew this in here with the existing home has 2-foot on-center roof rafters, and I drew 16-inch on-center roof rafters. You could see where every 4 foot would lap over the rafter, over an existing rafter if you did do it this way. But I wanted to give you an idea of 16-inch on-centers. They're not always going to work out with the 2-foot on-centers if that's what your engineer requires. So you're not going to be able to use every detail like I was suggesting if you have different spacing on the existing home and the new addition. Another problem I want to point out, and make sure that you bring all of this stuff back far enough so that it won't create a problem for your drywall if you are going to use a sloped ceiling. You can see where this right here needs to all go back in order to create a nice corner. And again, sloping. This one here, you got plenty of slope for a 16-foot home addition because you're coming up about, I'm guessing, 10 inches, something like that. This method right here would probably be the preferred method if you want to have a flat ceiling. You have an 8-foot existing ceiling, you might want to have a flat ceiling. You don't want to have a slope ceiling. Then you can always apply rip strips to the top. And of course, this would just be cut to provide the slope, the desired slope. So I actually cut these out of a 2x6, and that would be, of course, from one point to the end. A 16-foot 2x6, of course, this is going to be an 18-footer because 16-foot would have been the span from the wall to the wall. You're going to need this to be a little longer. 5.5 inches provides us with more than enough slope, even at 18 feet, because you would only need 4.5 inches. So this would work out good. So there are the rip strips gone. Ceiling joist. Again, they're 2x10, so they fit the insulation. Put the rip strips and the blocking back in there. And I wanted to give you an idea. This point right here, you need to create a point where it will intersect with the existing roof. So the sloping rip strips or the ceiling joist might need to extend back a little further past your framing plates. You can see it right there. Here's the end of our framing plates, but it's actually extending back a little further. Depending upon the slope of the roof, each roof will depend on where these points will intersect. And give you an idea of the rip strip that would go on coming down to nothing here. You will also need to run a row of blocks over the exterior wall and possibly need something to connect the sheathing together. Either a shaped block or a couple of blocks to form something. To give you an idea what I'm talking about, a lot of times the engineer is going to want the pieces of plywood where they join together at the sloped sections to have a nail that would be able to drive, you would drive through the plywood into one block. And this block could always be wider also, but a lot of times they want something to connect the plywood together there. I don't know if it would be necessary for something like this. You could always use a 2-block system if that would be approved by your engineer. And that would simply be something, a shaped block that would go on top of this block. The nails would actually connect into this block here, but whether or not it would be enough to make the engineer happy would be up to the engineer. How's that? I went ahead and I cut one of the rafters or the rip strips, left this one a little longer, and then made this one a little shorter. If you make your rip strips shorter, maybe you could just run a longer piece of the shaped block you're going to use here. Hope that makes sense. And that is what it would look like with the ceiling joist, 2x10s, and the rip strips connecting to the blocks. And then, of course, our blocks here. Another thing you're going to need on 16-foot, even though I didn't draw it in, would be mid-span blocks. And this would just be another row of blocks in the center going all the way across. To save myself some time and make the video a little shorter, I'm going to just show you how to do one side and do the sheathing and everything on it. Instead of doing both sides, you should be able to get the idea that this side will be the same as that side. So let's go ahead and zoom in. Give you an idea of the fascia board here. The fascia board will require a little rip strip on top if it's level, and that's actually what we have. The fascia board here is level, so I kept this return level, put a rip strip on. If you want to change that, feel free to. Since these slopes are different, you will have something like this. And again, it would depend upon the slope of your two roofs. Fascia board, ceiling joist, roof rafter, existing setup. Of course, it's been modified to fit. And you can leave a gap if you want in between the two pieces of fascia board or put them tight. That'll be up to you. And one to give you an idea of what we're dealing with, the existing roof is going to be level at the plane here running along the perimeter. But this right here is actually going to be sloping up. So it's going to kind of die into nothing here, but it's going to be sloping up and getting a little bigger as we come back here. So hope that makes sense. So you will end up with a straight board here. Now, if the engineer might require you to run an additional framing member in here, 2x4 or a shaped member. I did not draw that in because I didn't think we would need it for something like this. But again, because it's not going to be spanning more than 16 inches or 24 inches, whatever we're working with here, 24-inch span. So again, that would depend upon the engineer. Then you could use a straight edge or a straight piece of lumber and set it on top of the rip strips and then slide it over until it is touching the existing sheathing. Then you can make a mark to where you can, or a mark you can use for your line. And you can see here where our line that we're using is a little bit off from the mark that I did here. I just kind of wanted you to be able to see it. If I put the point in there, you wouldn't have been able to see it. So this is the point right here. Don't just draw a line across here, a line across here. Make sure that you have a point that you can use for your line. There's the line on the sheathing. And you can move the straight edge to the farthest point back to make your point, or move it to, and then move it to the farthest point over here to make your point, and then connect the 2 points. Or you can do as I'm doing here and then make another point here and then snap a line all the way through and then snap one all the way through here. Whatever works, as long as you get a line that is going to be working for your roof sheathing. So this will be the edge of the sheathing right here that we are going to use. So the bottom of the roof sheathing will connect here. And again, this is where you might need to install a 2x4 or a shaped piece of lumber, and it might need to be nailed to your roof rafters through the sheathing, depending upon the engineer. Wow, there it is, sheeted already. Too bad we can't do that in real time, huh? And who knows, maybe in the future we will. You can see right here that this is going at an angle. It is not straight across here, and this is sloping down. Take a look at it from the top to give you an idea. This would be a straight line that would be parallel to the building foundations and interior walls. And this right here is sloping, so the water will come down here and then work its way down. Water here will come down and then go down to the edge of the roof. Wanted to take the piece of plywood out here to give you an idea what we're looking at. You can see here where the plywood, new plywood, the bottom corner is touching the line. And of course you can see where the new ceiling or new rip strips are a little higher than the plane on the existing building. And that is it for the video. Pardon me for going too fast. Sometimes I don't want to make 2-hour videos, but I hope I got everything in there.